Hey there folks, make sure to subscribe and read the description down below on how you can win this beautiful Nacozari Turquoise Cabochon. I believe you will be picking a number 1 through whatever, and I will be drawing that live. So make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for hanging out with me all this time. Anyway, on to the video. Howdy there folks, this is Lapidary Dave, and right now I'm going to carve this beautiful piece of Nacozari Turquoise. Nacozari Turquoise comes from Sonora, Mexico, and shares a mountain range with the Bisbee Turquoise mine in Arizona. This material comes from the Nacozari mine, and the Nacozari mine was once a copper mine, if I'm not mistaken. It is now owned by a Canadian gold mining company. This material is awesome. I did back it using some backing formula, and then I lapped it. This stone is a little brittle, and the backing formula really helps it to keep it together. Anyway, check out the variety in this stone. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is my favorite piece. This stuff is a real pleasure to carve. Not the softest turquoise I ever cut, but not the hardest either. The speckles almost remind me of African turquoise on this variety of this Nacozari. This is a really beautiful piece. Fantastic. I got all this material at the Buena Vista Gem Show in Colorado a few weeks back. It was a real pleasure. I should have bought as much of it as I could, but that's just the way it goes. There's always next year. I haven't done research on roughly what this material is going for per carat, but that's because I used some backing formula, and I don't usually charge per carat when I use backing formula. Alright, I'm going to take this down, square it up, roughly round this up. I'm thinking about chopping this just to save that little piece in case I want to do some chip inlay someday or a little tiny cab. But the plan is to make a bolo out of this. I recently made a bolo out of this material for the blues singer Christina Vane. Check out Christina Vane. She's a 5-star musician. I got to accompany her on the upright bass this past weekend at Field Trippin' Fest. That was a blessing. With Peter Ovi and Zephaniah Stringfield. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to make another bolo. Can't wait. Let's get to it. Alright folks, here's that beautiful piece of Nacozari that I'm going to be cutting in this slightly better light. You can see the beautiful browns and greens. It almost looks like Kingman, and it's not too far away. I really love the spots that Nacozari has. If you notice, the profile is slightly different than the last shot I just did with my phone. That's because I trimmed it with a trim saw, and I took the time to lap these pieces. I just saw I missed a little spot. It took me maybe 4 or 5 seconds to grind the backing formula off. Now this doesn't look like much, but it's definitely more than enough to do a ring or two of chip inlay turquoise. This does not take a lot of turquoise. It actually looks a lot more than it is on this ring that I made in school. It almost looks like the whole thing is filled with turquoise, but it's not. So taking the time to save this little bit of stuff is totally worth it, and taking the time to process to clean all the Sharpie and backing formula off, it's totally worth it. A few seconds, just to let you know. Alright, 80 grit. Alright folks, that's my 80 grit grind. If you notice, I did not lick the top. That's because the finish left by whatever saw that cut this is finer than 220 grit. So I won't lick this at all using the hard wheels, but I'll start on the 280 wheel. I am going to leave those pocks there. I kind of really like it. But 220 grit. Let's start. Alright folks, that's that for 220 grit. It didn't take long at all for me to remove those 80 grit scratches. Not a problem. Alrighty. On to 280 grit. I will start licking the face. Sometimes I lick the back if there's backing formula, but usually around 600, 1200, or 1200 grit. Sometimes I don't at all. It really depends. Anyway, 280. Alright folks, check that out. 280 grit dry. It's pretty bright. And you can see all the metallic stuff in there. Absolutely gorgeous. Like I said before, it totally reminds me of Kingman, mixed with some other turquoises. What a pleasure. Bam! It's going to be a bangin' bolo. Anyway, on to 600 grit. Alright folks, this is 600 grit dry. Check out that beautiful, beautiful shine at such a low grit. I could easily burnish this right now and it would look a little bit more like that. But we're going to take it all away. I do have to take my time, like I should be doing anyway, when I'm carving this material, because it could easily snap off. While I was working this beautiful piece of Nacozari earlier today, a piece about that big broke off. But that's okay. That was cabbed up. But I just have to be careful. 1200 grit will make this thing very, very shiny. I pretty much don't even need to take it to 3000. But I'm gonna anyway. It's way too much fun. This is 1200 grit. Alright folks, check out 1200 grit. Bam! Bam, bam, bam. Looking fantastic. I love this color, and I love this turquoise. Big difference between 600 and 1200. I don't even need to burnish this, really, at 1200 grit. It looks great. And if I was to burnish it at 1200 grit, perhaps it would look a little bit more like this. On the sides of the back, some turquoise is exposing. I don't mind that at all. Kind of lets people see that this is like legit and that someone just put this stuff on the back of there, even if they don't understand what it's there for. I like that folks can see the back of the turquoise through here, so I really don't mind when that happens. It's not intended, but that's fine. Alright, 3000 grit. Alright folks, this is 3000 grit. Look at that shine. Bam, 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 bam. Great. Love that spot right there. Having a hard time focusing on that, but I'll show you folks soon. Whew, time to burnish this bad girl. I don't know if I'll keep it burnished. I might come back to 3000 or 1200 grit. But just for the video's sake and to see what it looks like, we're going to take this thing all the way. We're going to put this thing with some Fabuluster. Even though I'm using Fabuluster, I could easily use Zam, Diamond Paste, a little bit of Moxide, all that good stuff, Green Rouge, and you know how it is. Alrighty. Let's buff this thing. I'm going to use Fabuluster, which is some kind of aluminum oxide bar. Alright folks, we're done. If you remember that finish before, then you can really tell the difference now. Bam. Over the top. I'm going to take this into some better lighting and chat a little bit more about this stone. Check that out. I went ahead and polished this backing stuff. There was one of those two fissures that stayed. Here it is. It does kind of look like it fell and chipped out, but it didn't. That's just the way it is. Alrighty, I am going to clean that with a soft brush to get that aluminum oxide out. Fabuluster, I mean. Alright, and then we'll go focus on this and check it out some better lighting. Bam! Alright folks, here's that beautiful piece of Nacozari Turquoise with a little bit better focus on the camera. You can see some of the greens and the darker blues right here. Love those spots. They look a lot more metallic when they are at a rougher finish. Love this brown, reminiscent of Kingman. Polish the back just a little tiny bit. It's not a big deal. I'll put my bolo findings on the back here. If I don't bezel it. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Bam. Can't wait to go to the Buena Vista Gem Show next year. I'm going to try to wipe the gentleman out of all this material. Maybe he'll give me a great price. Here's a little bit of that variety. Until next time, my friends. This is Lapidary Dave. I love you, and I'll see you soon.